Right then, I think it is extremely safe to say whoever's been in this machine before me is a complete and utter moron. Well, that's how it looks anyway. For the record, it was not Joseph, because when he bought Waves out and this machine was already here, he said he didn't do anything to it, so all the problems it had was already there when he took over, other than the coin mech, of course, which I've done a bit of a bodge there and put a free play button there. So that's that. So today on Magic Safe, we're going to be trying to sort the fourth prize arm out, which I unscrewed out of there, and then this already comes out, so that pretty much tells me it's unplugged. Now, whether it's fallen out actually, I might retract what I said actually about whoever was in here before was a complete moron, because it could have just fallen out. Might have unplugged because it's broken, but nonetheless we're going to plug it in and see if it works. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I doubt I can do it, is reach my arm in there to try and grab the cable. If not, I'll have to unscrew all of these, because this red thing here is actually sheeting rather than paint on the wood itself. So I'll have to unscrew this and take the back out to get to the cable. So this could be a pain to do, or it could actually be very simple. So nonetheless, I will give it a go. So I've just tried to reach my arm in there. It's quite narrow. I think the cable is actually quite far down, so unfortunately I don't think we're actually going to be able to do it. We're going to have to take all three of these prize arms out, the sheeting here, and then I'm going to have to unscrew the back piece to actually get to it. So yeah, that is going to be fun, to say the least. So yeah, how I'm going to do it, you don't need to take, this kind of could be a tutorial to how to take the prize arms off. I'll film myself taking one of them off, but not all three of them, just to save the length of the video being too long. So just to explain it first, you don't need to worry about these two middle ones here because it's connected to this plate. You only need to take the four corner ones out like I've done here, because the whole thing comes out then. So the motor, here's the motor here. I think that works, but it might have actually been unplugged for a reason, but we'll see. Anyway, it could actually just completely work. But nonetheless, I'm going to take all three of these prize arms off, get the back off, plug that back in and see what happens. Although, considering pretty much everything else on this machine has been a simple fix, I am willing to bet that it's all it is, it's just unplugged, because the side lights here is just a dusty PCB. The speaker kind of works alright now, but that's probably going to need replacing at some point down the line. LED lights all in, so all that all completely, because I didn't film this, but I've put LEDs in all of these buttons here. So yeah, not to mention the other prize arms, because all four of them didn't work at one point. Reason was because in here, like I explained in that video, this connector, which is where it's actually supposed to be connected, this is the correct way, was actually plugged into here. And that was definitely previous operators at fault there. Like, I don't know why they did it, but then again, I just don't get the thought process of some people. So there we go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of these off, all three of them, but I'm going to film myself taking one of them off, just so you know how it's done. I'll take this red sheeting off here and then unscrew the back, and we'll attempt to plug in this cable and see if that fixes the machine or not. Like stated, I'm going to take one of them off just so you know how it's done, although most enthusiasts watching will probably already know how it's done, but just for those who don't know how it's done, I'll show you how it's done. Like I've already explained, these two here in the middle, don't worry about them because they're connected to the plate itself. You just need to take these four corner ones out. So I'll do that. They're quite easy to take off by hand as well, so I'll just loosen all four of these, then do that. But you can do it with a screwdriver if you wish. Just don't break it, which isn't my intention anyway, so. So literally, you take all four of these screws out, and then the whole prize arm will just come out. Unsure whether I'm going to have to connect disconnect, sorry, all 4 of them, because they might not come out all the way that way, but we'll give it a go anyway, because well, we need to take the whole back piece off, like I've said already. Unfortunately, I've looked, there is not a door behind it either, which makes it a little bit more difficult, so you do actually have to take this wooden piece out here. So that's out. And these can come out by hand if you turn them, which I am doing. So I'm going to have to rinse and repeat this process 2 more times after this, but I won't record it for simplicity's sake, because it's basically going to be the same as for all 3 of them. And obviously I've not filmed taking the 4th one out because I did that before I started filming, so imagine this just being as simple as it's unplugged. I can tell here by some holes, like here, I'll show you, it looks as though that screw, well, a screw's been taken out of that already, so clearly someone's been in here already. And if it is a case of they've unplugged the 4th one, why they've done it I don't know, but hey, oh, they have. So, but now this machine's in my ownership, we're going to plug it back in and hopefully that fixes it. Then after that, apart from the speaker and possibly a new coin mech as well, if I really need to do that, I don't think there's actually much else I need to do to this machine. It'll be fully fixed then, which is amazing. As stated before, I got this machine for free, which was absolutely brilliant. So really the only thing I've actually paid for to fix it is, well, just the new LEDs really. Well, these lights here, the flow tubes, I took the LED like micro bulbs for the buttons out of some other machines, but yeah. But we are actually quite close to fully restoring this machine, which is brilliant. So this will come out. And then so yeah, it's just as simple as that really. The whole prize arm will come out then, so we got to do that with these 2 as well. I'll turn the camera off for that. And yeah, so yeah, this one's plugged in, I can tell, so just how am I going to rest it so these wires don't fall out here, will get ripped out of the connector, because then that one won't work either. So like this temporarily. So as I said, I'll turn the camera off now, get these 2 off, I'll take this red sheeting off, I'll unscrew the back, and we'll have a look inside of there and hopefully get this one to work, because this is the only one that don't work. So yeah, let's see how this goes. After taking this one off now, discovered this here, which appears to be the other side of the connector to the 4th one here. So I think life has just been made a hell of a lot easier for us now, because we no longer have to remove this red sheeting here. We no longer have to remove the back of it. All we need to do is just thread the other side of that connector back through to that other piece, plug it in, and then in all honesty, I might actually test it like this, say putting it back together don't work, and I feel, oh Jesus Christ, I gotta take it all apart again, which this is pretty simple, but just saves work, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Let's take this, if we can thread it through without putting it back, because obviously it won't sit as is, so we'll do that. So here's the side of the connector that goes to the motor. This might not actually be as easy as I thought it was going to be. So just thread it through here. We could just plug it in here as is, because it'll all go back in anyway. It's a Molex connector, I believe that's what it's called, so it can only go in one way. So pretty easy. Just plug that in. Pretty easy as well, because this one has a multicolored wire there. Not sure if you'll be able to see. In fact, I'll move the camera. So how it works on these ones, of course, you can only connect them in one way because of the type of connector, but This white wire with stripes on it goes to the white wire on the motor, and the black wire to the motor just goes to the black wire there. So we've plugged that in now. They'll all be connected. So is there a way to kind of just put it on without screwing them in so it won't fall off? Because we could just do that. So I'll do that actually. I'll plug it in, test it all before screwing it all back up. So just thread this wire back through. Doing this one-handed, I really should have just kept the camera on the tripod, but well, we move. So I hope this works. If not, then we know that there's a motor fault and we actually need to replace that, which I should imagine would be, it should be easy to replace. That or this capacitor on here is knackered, because some motors are like that actually. So yes, there we go. Those are all back on. I will power the machine up and I will put it into test mode and see whether that fourth motor now works. So it's all powered up. I'll put it into test mode and then we'll see what the results are here. One thing about the prize hangers, that they vary depending on which machine. Here there's just 4 screws on the outside. On something like Speed Catcher, well, it looks the same actually, but I'd imagine those little screws on there are actually the ones that you unscrew to take the prize arm off, and those two there connect to the arm there. But with something like Speed Catcher, it's much easier because there's a door on the back, so if the motor ever goes you can just look in there. So it's literally really simple, so you don't really need to try and rip the machine apart like with MagicSafe. And before you ask where's that black chute thing, is actually down here. That's now screwed in, that literally just sits there, you know. So anyway, it's in test mode, so we'll see whether the fourth prize arm now works.
Outstanding! You won the first prize!
So this is in test mode,
for your prize.
and this is what I mean by the LED lamps. It's all fully LED lamps. So I forgot which one, it's the fourth one, isn't it? So prize arm A works, so there's D, C, and now D. So that's literally what it was, you guys. Literally, it was unplugged. I swear, like, this is the most simple machine I've ever had to fix, you know. Fair enough, you know, again, huge thank you goes out to Joseph from Waves Amusements for giving me this machine for free. He was going to sell it, he didn't want to scrap it. I went to speak to him one day and he said you can have it. I've spoke to him since after getting this machine, like, and he says that since he's been the owner of Waves, he's not actually looked at this machine at all. It's just been there. He knew about the motors being out, which was done by the previous owner because they quite moronically actually plugged the connector into the wrong part of the PCB, which luckily there was no power going to it. If there was, that could have caused damage, that could have blew the motors, blew the PCB, literally anything. And prize D, clearly someone unplugged that. So, but it's working now, so all 4 of them now work, which is amazing. So it's pretty much that's it, apart from maybe sorting the speaker out when that eventually does fully go, although it could really be done sooner rather than later, and maybe putting a new coin mech in. That's it. MagicSafe fully works, which is amazing. So I think the most I've spent, I guess, is like, I would have placed it, I can't remember, about 50 quid for all the lights, including these ones. So that's that. Because obviously these LED bulbs are free. I took them out of a kiddie ride that I'm going to sell because I don't really want them anymore. So pretty good actually, I would say. So that's that. So what I'll do is I'll screw them back up. I don't really need to film that, but if you're taking off a prize arm for any reason, what I do is just do what I did, unscrew them, but just in reverse. It's that simple, just screw them back in. I'll put this platform back in, and that's pretty much it. I might show it off then, like with a prize on or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's that. It works. Amazing.